What is up, guys? Ninja Nick 333, and it was a little hard to even find this match. They had like an exhibition match between like Ross and Chip or something during... No, Ross and Kyle, looks like. I don't know. They like went like a whole like over an hour without actually showing a real match. So I don't know if they had a lunch break day 2 or something, which is a little odd because they didn't have one day 1. But yeah, it looks like we've got Azul on stream again versus Cameron Shinoy. We are going to get into it. We do have what looks like Vikavolt versus the Lost Box. Vikavolt being on the right. Obviously, everybody knows Azul GG. He will be on the Lost Box. Looks like Cameron did win the die roll, so he is going first. He does start Mew. Azul starts Comfey, both of them starting their preferred starters, which is fantastic. Cameron looks like he is going to be discarding Drapion. He already knows what Azul is playing at this point. That is Lost Box by the Comfey and the fact that he is Azul, and word probably spread around by this point. Usually, if you make day 2, your list gets leaked, and then there's like a document that goes online where they try to find the deck name of every single person in day 2. So usually when you're playing in day 2, you just reference that before you sit down. So, makes day 2 a little bit more interesting. We do see the quick ball getting the immediate Vikavolt V down there on the bench. Or actually, no, maybe Azul won the coin flip and forced Cameron to go first. Because Vikavolt usually likes to go second, actually. Yeah, if he knows what Cameron's playing, he would probably let Cameron go first. That way Azul doesn't mind going second. He could always get the first knockout with a Cramorant. And then be able to play supporters before he's item locked. That way he can use Colress's experiment to dig into more things like the scoop up nets, so he can use Comfey even more and try to get as close to 7 in the Lost Zone as possible. As fast as possible. Looks like it's also the first time we're seeing 2 US players facing against each other on this stream. They've rightfully showed a lot of Australians because, of course, Oceania is in Australia. It is the Oceania region that the Internationals is for. But yeah, it takes place right in Australia. So why wouldn't you show mostly Australian players if you can? Looks like we are going to get the Speed Lightning to draw 2, and then a Cape of Toughness to make that Vikavolt a little chonkier. Azul also draws the Drapion for turn. That's got to be fantastic. The 2 of them both getting their early Drapions. Hopefully one of them gets one in play. I'm just joking. Looks like we are going to Lost Zone the Dragonite immediately. Little bit of an interesting decision. I would think that the Dragonite could come in clutch during the game if he's able to Mirage Gate to it, but of course it's going to be very hard to Mirage Gate to it if you are under the item lock, so Azul is likely choosing to get rid of it just because he knows it will be hard to power up late in the game, and he wants to use it late in the game. So we are getting the Battle VIP pass for the double Comfey. I think I see the Radiant Greninja in hand already. Getting a sufficient shuffle going on there. I need to learn how to like do that exact type of shuffle because I can riffle one way, but then I can't get them to like I can riffle, but then I can't do this part, you know, where it just all slides together really fast and nice. I can't do that. I don't know how to move my hands to do it right. People have showed me how to do it, and it just quite literally just does not work. My hands are just stupid. Zool is using flower selecting. Well, now what's going on?
We'll address and find another sleeve. Use a sleeve from a card that's in the lost zone that's not going to be interacted with once again. Get a fresh sleeve on there, and yeah.
Oh, it's just a messed up sleeve.
Can I just say,
okay, it's nothing. We're just fixing a broken sleeve or something along those lines. Both players playing red sleeves. Usually I don't like playing with the same color sleeves as my opponent because then the cards are more easily messed up, but it looks like one of them is a lighter color and one of them is a darker color, so from that other camera angle it looked like they were almost the same shade. But we are going to loss zone a capture energy this time with this Comfey. Cameron wants to see the 3-card discard. It's hard to remember 3 cards sometimes. We are going to put down the Radiant Greninja. We are likely concealing some cards this turn. Looks like there is a water energy we are discarding to draw 2. What else is up Azul's sleeve? Looks like he is going to bench a Sableye now. I think it is a little early to have the Sableye, but if you gotta, you gotta. Looks like it is to protect the Comfey. What else we got? Azul here. Sableye is not going to be able to attack until you get 10 cards into the loss zone, which is going to be very unlikely if you are under item lock. So Azul very methodically playing out his items and trying to get as far into the loss zone as possible while he still has access to those items. That way, while he is item locked, he still has some options to play the game. Item lock is a very powerful effect. We've seen it in so many different formats of the past. It is always very disrupting, especially against a deck such as Lost Box. It is so reliant on things like Ordinary Rod, Mirage Gate, Scoop Up Net. Looks like Cameron does have to read the Zeraora. I'm sure that Azul is searching that out just for the free retreat. I do not think the Lightning... there is anything Lightning weak in Cameron's deck whatsoever. So Fighting Lightning would do like 110 at most. So it's basically just a Cramorant that has to have energy to attack. That is Azul's big tech for the Lugia matchup, as long as they are not playing Dunsparce, or you are able to remove the Dunsparce from play. You can just go in with a Choice Belt, and the Zeraora will just go Blar. Looks like we are going to use the Ordinary Rod. I think he's shuffling in just the 1 water energy. I couldn't really see what he was shuffling in, but I'm assuming that that is it. Usually for Lost Box, it is important to recycle the energies. A little bit more important than recycling the Pokemon at times, just because that makes your Mirage Gates that much more powerful. We are going to attach, it looks like, a water energy and a Choice Belt to the Sableye, probably because the Choice Belt is not going to be super useful if, well, I don't know. You could attach it to Zeraora, but I guess Zeraora is probably not attacking in this matchup, right? He is also able to just scratch, so he is able to get the the most effectiveness as he can out of that Choice Belt while he can still attach it to a Pokemon. Choice Belt is currently a tool card. When Scarlet and Violet comes out, the rules will change, and all tool cards will be their own subtype of trainer. They will no longer be items, they will be tools instead. So they will be able to be played under item lock in that particular circumstance. So Vikavolt will become a lot weaker once Scarlet and Violet base set comes out. Looks like we are drawing a whole bunch of cards here. Or no, we are using the Mew to search for a trainer card off the top 6 cards of our deck, specifically an item card. So also Mew gets a lot weaker when Scarlet and Violet comes out because it will not be able to search out tool cards, like Air Balloon. I think it's a very interesting mechanic change to the game. And honestly, one that I'm a little surprised hasn't happened yet, so. Looks like we are using Trekking Shoes, the card we just got off the Mew. We are attempting to discard it potentially to draw one more instead. Cameron does not know whether he wants to take it. It must be a very difficult decision. He's probably looking for something else, but looks like it is the Hisuian Heavy Ball. So, yep, just opting to dig one card deeper as opposed to using that Heavy Ball. We are going to Scoop Up Net the Mew to reset the use of its ability. Also to get the Vikavolt V active, so either he's going to switch back into Mew and use its ability again, or he's going to just attack with the Vikavolt. Looks like we are putting 1 damage counter onto the Comfey with the Galarian Zigzagoon, and then the Vikavolt will be able to hit for 50. That will be 10 short of a knockout. He is playing Judge as well. If he is able to get the Zapdos from Pokemon Go down onto the bench, he will be hitting 60 instead. It allows his lightning Pokemon to do 10 more damage if they are not named Zapdos. So that will be enough to one-shot a Comfey while item locking Azul, and that'll be the unideal situation for Azul, but I'm sure that he has plans to get around this. Of course, Azul is going to have to draw a pretty stellar 4 cards in order to be able to get around this item lock predicament that he is currently in. He could always just hit for 50 again with the Sableye. Isn't the worst case scenario, but not ideal, of course. We are using another Trekking Shoes. Again, big decision. Looks like it's an energy search. You already have 2 energies in hand. I think you are safe getting rid of that. We are going to put the Air Balloon down on the Mew. Looks like we are just going to attach an energy to the Vikavolt. We will be able to attack, but unfortunately, we do not have the Zapdos. So we will still be 1 short. If Cameron is able to just get another Scoop Up Net, he will be able to recycle that Galarian Zigzagoon, and that will finish the Comfey off in that way. Azul uses Flower Selecting, sees that one of the cards is named Battle VIP Pass, and that makes an easy decision on what to put into the Lost Zone. He is now at 4, so Cramorant will be able to attack for free. However, he does not have any Cramorants yet. Azul cannot play any of those item cards that may be in his hand. He's going to attach a Lightning to the Zeraora. That is now 1 energy away from being able to attack. Looks like he has no way to move the Comfey, and he is just going to pass turn. So Azul is really hoping that Cameron cannot get that Scoop Up Net this turn. If he gets that Scoop Up Net for the Zigzagoon, that Comfey is going down, and another Pokemon is going to be hit with Vikavolt's Paralyzing Bolt. Looks like Cameron is asking how many cards are in Azul's hand, and Azul is like 4 dead ones. Oh, okay, I heard about this. So, Cameron takes the knockout on the Comfey here, and he draws a card. Now, it's because he's being forced to play left-handed. This judge in particular has been forcing people to play left-handed, I believe. I believe it's them. And normally you draw your prize cards from the left. If you're right-handed, you have your deck on the right. So what's happening here is he went to take a prize card, but instead drew a card because he is reaching with his left hand. Because that's muscle memory. Technically, there's no such thing as muscle memory, but your neural pathways in your brain, fun science facts here. When you do the same action over and over and over, it makes that connection in your brain faster. So you are more likely to essentially do without thinking because your brain processes the information without you having to essentially expend as much energy to create that thought. That's kind of how muscle memory works. That's a really, really bad explainer, but trust me, I learned half of something in my psychology class in college. So, yep, Cameron is going to get some sort of penalty for accidentally drawing a card, I am sure. I believe he gets a double prize card penalty, if I'm not mistaken, and Azul tries to deny it. But for some reason in Pokemon, you cannot decline a penalty issued by a judge. So even though Azul's like, nah, my opponent's mistake was not that big of a deal. Like, obviously, if they were playing off stream, they wouldn't have two judges hovering over this match. So Azul would be like, we know which card it is. It's at the front of your hand. Just put it back. So you gained a little information. Big deal. Just take your prize card and fix it. But we do see the appeal coming. And I guess maybe Will Post is the head judge in this situation. Will Post being one of the worst judges in the game, in my opinion. He gives people slow play warnings for scooping to go to the next game and trying to save time, and then gets demoted to side events. So, yep, they are telling this guy that he has a double prize card penalty now, and that Azul is not allowed to decline it because they are judges and all-powerful, and their word is law. Now, honestly, if I were Azul, I would not decline the penalty. Cameron did make a mistake. If he did draw that extra card, I personally would call a judge. However, Azul is too nice of a guy and would definitely... looks like we are doing the reveal and shuffle. We know that it was the card at the front of his hand. We are going to shuffle the deck so that we are not aware of what the top card is. And Azul has to take 2 less prize cards in order to win the match. So again, Azul's too nice of a guy, tries to deny the prize card penalty, but now doesn't have to win as hard. Whereas I'm more of the opinion of if your opponent is going to make any sort of gameplay error, they should be penalized for it so that they are less likely to do that sort of thing in the future, whether it was intentional or not. You can't you can't be light on certain situations and hard on others, because then that just shows the people who actually are cheating that they can potentially get away with stuff, you know? So even though I believe even that Cameron did not do that maliciously, he of course gets punished for it, as he should. Which is sad, but, you know, necessary. That gives Azul the opportunity here to put that Psychic Energy on Zeraora and just hit that Vikavolt hard. I don't believe that they've shown the prize... I'm pretty sure that this is a prize card penalty that happened. But I don't see it on screen yet, so maybe maybe I got misinformation from Twitter. Maybe it was just a warning and Azul tried to decline the warning. But either way, we're just going to keep focusing on the game as it's happening. It goes over to Cameron's side. He is going to Quick Ball away a Lost Vacuum, looking for a Radiant Greninja. He's going to try to discard an energy. We know he has 1 more water energy in his hand. He's going to use that as food for the Greninja's Concealed Cards ability. So he will be drawing 2 more cards. He'll be really looking for... Well, it looks like, unfortunately, not the Scoop Up Net, because that was before... It looks like his deck was upside down. We fixed that. Your deck does have to be north-south because if you're you can potentially see which card is which through the sleeve openings. That was a big thing when Team Plasma cards came out because they all had blue borders. So if your deck was facing towards you instead of away from yourself, you would be able to see which cards were blue or not. So if you were looking for something like a Hypnotoxic Laser, you know, you would know whether it's on the top of your deck or not. We are going to use Mew's Mysterious Tail. We're going to look at the top 6 cards of our deck and find an item card here. Looks like we are going to choose a Battle VIP Pass. Very interesting decision. Cameron most likely just didn't see anything that he wanted in there and has a card maybe like Quick Ball or Research in his hand that could just get rid of it. That would be pretty interesting. Looks like he is accidentally discarding it. Yeah, he's a little, I think he's a little flustered because of the, yep, there it is. The double prize card penalty is on the top of the screen now. I just noticed that. So Cameron is a little flustered because of that minor mistake that ended up being a big one. But we all know his intentions with it. He just gets the Battle VIP Pass to thin it from his deck because he doesn't need any necessarily need any of those item cards. Just does 60 to this Zeraora, and unfortunately Zeraora seems to be very good in this matchup as it can 2-shot Vikavolt and get 2-shot itself. So Vikavolt has, I believe it's 260 total HP. So this Vikavolt actually isn't 2-shotting it right now. Looks like we are at 28. We are at 240 damage right now. So we are 20 damage away from knockout. If Azul does have something along the lines of Galarian Zigzagoon in his deck, I don't think he does. He would be able to bench it, scoop it up, and bench it again to take the knockout. If he has Lost Vacuum, he can always use that on the Cape of Toughness, and then he takes the knockout on Vikavolt that way. His other option is getting up to 10 cards in the Lost Zone, using Sableye in order to put 2 damage counters on it, and then he could put damage counters on other things. So like, for example, the Mew, he could knock out the Mew while also knocking out the Vikavolt and take a 3 prize turn. Although Azul, I think, would even be fine just promoting the Sableye and hitting for 50 again with that Choice Belt. Looks like Cameron is finishing off this Zeraora, taking 1 additional prize card. So he has now taken 2. Azul hasn't taken any yet, but of course he has to take 2 less because of the penalty. So it's essentially as if he has taken 2. So it looks like this match would actually be very even if it wasn't for that prize penalty, which is very unfortunate. I would always like to watch a closer game as opposed to watching one that is just made a little bit less important by the, you know, the prize penalties. But it just goes to show you have to make sure that every action you take is correct and clean. 6. We're getting off of this Mew. We're going to find our item card of choice. Maybe we'll get another Battle VIP Pass. Be pretty good to get if we had an Ultra Ball in hand or something. We do have a Raikou V down on the bench now that has a Speed Lightning Energy on it. We also have that Zapdos. So if we are able to do some more Vikavolt shenanigans on Comphase, we would just be a Zigzagoon away from knockout. Looks like we are grabbing Forest Sealstone. That is a pretty interesting combination. Of course, that won't be usable anymore in Scarlet and Violet. However, as of right now, Forest Sealstone is an item card, so Mew is able to grab the Forest Sealstone off the top 6, and now you can use Forest Sealstone if you need any specific card in your deck. You can just use that. So it's almost as if Mew is a little Arceus of his own. Trying to decide if we want to put down the Forest Sealstone or just hold on to it. I think holding on to it might be better. And we are going to take the knockout on that Sableye. Lightning Rondo. So Zul is looking through his discard pile to see what energies are already used. He is going to play the Training Court, which now allows Greninja to use its ability again, and also he can recycle one of those energies that are in there. So looks like we're going to keep the Heavy Ball and get rid of the Capture, potentially. Azul's really deciding. He does have 4 remaining prize cards, so he can choose a Pokemon from in there, if there are any. Looks like there is a Comfey. Oh no, it's and a Snorlax as well. So the Snorlax is definitely going to be chosen. You already have 2 Comfeys in play, so that's fine. Snorlax goes to hand. We are able to play item cards now because we have not, Cameron has not attacked with the Vikavolt V, since his only one he had in play is knocked out. So we are going to now be able to play all of our items out. We're going to get so many cards in the Lost Zone. We have another Sableye on the bench as well, so that can start picking off these Mews and Zigzagoons off of the bench very easily. We hopefully have a Mirage Gate as well upcoming that will be able to go to the Snorlax, and if we have a Choice Belt for the Snorlax as well, we will be able to one-shot this Raikou V. Here is the Mirage Gate. We are going to get 2 energies out of our deck. Looks like, ooh, there's only 1 Psychic? Zul must have miscounted. Looks like it is going to go to the Snorlax, though. I know that Azul is not playing any twin energies. He's playing 3 Capture, 3 Psychic, 4 Water, 2 Lightning, I believe, is the count. Because I have seen his list. I had to help my friend build it last night when we were testing. Fun fact, I beat Azul's deck without putting Lugia V-Star into play. I just got lucky. So we do see a Colress's Experiment now. We are really loading up that Lost Zone. I believe this puts us to 10. It says there are 8 in the Lost Zone right now. I don't believe they've updated it for the Colress yet. I know that sometimes they do it a little early. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, there are 8 in there now. So we are going to put Quick Ball and one other card looks like Escape Rope into there. We now have the ability to use the Sableye. It would be very interesting to go in with the Sableye now, and we would be able to take the Knockout on Mew and then put 6 on the Zigzagoon for it to be 1 away from Knockout. You could also put 6 on the Mew and then 2 on the Raikou, so that then it is going to be 1 shot by the Snorlax if you are able to get that going. Azul does have a very large hand. It's almost as if he wants to get judged or something, so that he is able to Mirage Gate again. But he may have Energy Recycler or Ordinary Rod in his deck. He Lost Zones the Sky Seal Stone, Ordinary Rod's 2 energy in. He is able to now Mirage Gate those 2 onto Snorlax. He is going to put the Choice Belt on Retreat, and that is the game. Because of the 2 prize penalty, Azul takes the last 2 prize cards he needs in order to win the game. Was able to piece that together off of that last Comfey there. That is pretty amazing. Good on Azul. But again, it would have been a little bit more of a game left because Cameron did have 3 prize cards remaining. So if he was able to establish another Vikavolt or a way to... Well, actually, no. I think that game would have been won by Azul either way. Because if you think about it, I think Azul would have played the exact same way, right? He goes down to 2 prize cards remaining. And then the Snorlax is active. Now, does Cameron have any way to get through that? Does he have any way to get through the Snorlax with both of his attackers knocked out? He would have to power up another Raikou. So he would have to have Raikou, Melanie, and then Lightning attached for turn. and then maybe Cameron can come back. So I guess Cameron could have won that game still, but I think it was still more favored for Azul at that point. Azul just constantly checking to make sure his sleeves are okay because of that one that broke earlier. So let's stop shuffling and get into it. Both players will draw their opening 7. Hopefully we'll have basic Pokemon and no mulligans. Yeah, there is a... oh, that's a Raikou. I think he has a Mew as well in his opening hand, so he's probably starting that. Looks like Azul doesn't prize anything super important. Cameron also doesn't really prize anything important. I mean, the Forest Seal Stone is a little annoying. So is the Path, but nothing that's going to make the match like super unwinnable or like hinder them in any way. Okay, yep. So Cameron chose to go second. So I do believe that Azul won the coin flip and chose to go second, knowing exactly what Cameron is playing. So that's what separates the men from the boys, is knowing when to go second with a going first deck. It's like, oh, my opponent has a going second deck, I'm gonna make them go first. Also, what's really cool to see is Azul's watch is turned inward. That's actually so that his opponent cannot see the time, but he can. I mean, obviously, if his opponent asked him what the time was, he probably would tell him. But it makes it so that would have to be an awkward conversation instead of just a glance that you could do, you know? I always forget to turn my watch inside like that. I used to do it all the time, but I haven't been doing it lately. Because I have a Fitbit now. You have to wear it a certain way in order for it to like track your vitals and stuff. Not that I even really use it that much anymore. Unless I leave the house. I don't ever use it if I'm just sitting around at home. You're supposed to wear it to bed and stuff. It like tracks your sleep and everything too. So again, Azul just doing the Lost Zone things. Just using Comphase, using Greninjas, doing all that good happy stuff. Selecting all those flowers, concealing all those cards. Just doing the do as you do. Nothing too riveting going on. Nothing too interesting to talk about, but we will get there sooner rather than later. Looks like Azul is choosing to discard the Dragonite with the Quick Ball here. Dragonite seemingly not a card that Azul wants to use in this particular matchup. He probably wants something that isn't going to be able to give 2 prizes against a Raikou. That's likely the thought process. Along with the fact that you have to Mirage Gate to it. If you're going to Mirage Gate to something, I think it would better be suited for use on the Snorlax and the Zeraora. After how we saw the last game go, he got a lot of mileage out of both of those. And even a Choice Belted Sableye somehow. But that's just what you do. Sometimes you gotta use a card in a way that you don't normally intend to use it, like using Scratch, Choice Belt Sableye, just to, you know, add damage. He 4-shot that one Vikavolt, and then that was the only Vikavolt Cameron played the whole game. Looks like we've got double Cramorant down, too. Must be some interesting draws and decisions here from Azul. As long as Cameron doesn't have access to that Zapdos, Cramorant is very good as an attacker because it will not get one-shot. But if he has that Zapdos, then it's, you know, moot point. Because they will be one-shot because of their lightning weakness. They'll take 120 with the Zapdos in play. Otherwise, I mean, Cameron could always play the Galarian Zigzagoon down. Then he would be pinging for 10, and then he would finish it off for 100 with the Vikavolt. So either way, but you get, again, a lot more mileage out of using the Zapdos, and then that way you can save the Zigzagoon for better use later on the Comphase. So we are going to use the Mysterious Tail. We're going to look for an item card. Looks like we are going to go for the Hisuian Heavy Ball. So Cameron is going to be able to prize check this game. It would be great if he had a notepad. He could write down what his exact 6 prize cards are so that he does not forget and he knows exactly what he has access to throughout the whole game. So we do take our one Pokemon that was in there. We are going to bench another Mew. Looks like we're considering Quick Ball to get rid of the Water Energy. Cameron does have to piece together the Melanie combo this turn. So he is looking for Melanie, a Water Energy in the discard, the Vikavolt, and a Lightning Energy. So he does play Energy Searches. Looks like he does get a Battle VIP pass off of this one. So that will allow him to get the Vikavolt into play, and the Radiant Greninja as well, which will discard the Water Energy for him. He won't have to use the Quick Ball. And it'll also draw him additional cards, so maybe he can find his way into a Melanie if he does not have it already. And this is the reason why Vikavolt goes second, because it has a fairly consistent odds to get the Vikavolt attached Melanie turn. And it gives your opponent the least likelihood that they can utilize their items to the full effectiveness before they go into the item lock phase of the game. Like we are now considering the Quick Ball, getting rid of maybe what is that? Raikou? I can't tell. I can't tell. I think it's Raikou, because it has an ability and a 2 attack cost. We are gonna grab the Luminion to get the Melanie. And of course that is exactly what he wants. So by saving that Quick Ball earlier, he was able to get everything he needed here. He is going to Melanie that Water Energy onto the Vikavolt. He is going to draw 3 more cards. All that he needs now is a Scoop Up Net or an Air Balloon so that he can move into this Vikavolt and attack. The other good thing to get would be that Zapdos again. As I said, it would leave Comphase with 10 remaining so that a Zigzagoon can come down. So we will just have to see exactly where we are at with that, what this hand looks like after that Melanie. Looks like we are energy searching for the Lightning Energy. We have that available to us here. We have a Quick Ball, so we can get to the Zapdos. We don't have any more Pokemon in... Oh, we got double Quick Ball. Yep, so we could actually go Quick Ball for Zigzagoon, Quick Ball for the Zapdos, and we would actually just get there. But no, maybe not double Quick Ball. I would just Quick Ball for the Zapdos if I don't have the ability to get the Zigzagoon yet. It doesn't quite matter whether or not you get to this turn or not, because your opponent Azul here will not be able to play the Scoop Up Net since he will be under the item lock. So Comfey will not be able to be healed. Looks like we are going for a Crobat. Not sure what Cameron is still digging for. I think maybe he needs the other... Looks like he is looking for another cross switcher, maybe? He does not have a way to move this Mew quite yet. So he's looking for Scoop Up Net or the other cross switcher. A Forest Seal Stone would get him there as well, because that would search out anything. But he has one in his prize cards. I wouldn't expect him to be playing more than one. He may be playing two. It wouldn't be bad to play two. I play two in Mew. Alright, so we bench Raikou. And now we are playing down the Crobat for one. And passing. Yep, so he did whiff this. So Azul is going to take full advantage of the ability to use items yet again. Unfortunately, Azul has already used, as you can see, 3 Scoop Up Nets in his discard pile. And has only 2 cards in the Lost Zone. So wasn't able to get full advantage of the use of those Scoop Up Nets. I think it's because he had to scoop up a Radiant Greninja at one point. So he still got a lot of value, but it's just not Lost Zone value like you would like. There is a Battle VIP pass off of this Colress, so that will easily be chosen to go into there. We're just going to have to choose one other card. Looks like it may be Boss's Orders he's eyeing up. He's got to decide on something else. He has another Colress's Experiment in there. You'd probably want to keep that for next turn. That is a really great consistency tool. Looks like he is choosing the Colress's Experiment, opting to keep the Boss's Orders. It's definitely not a bad decision to Lost Zone that Colress, it just feels really bad. Because in case you get, like, judged, then that's one less Colress that's going back into your deck to potentially rebuild your hand back up. Looks like also opting to keep the Bird Keeper and getting rid of the Lightning Energy. Just remember, Azul only plays 2 Lightning Energy. So that is very important for both his Dragonite and his Zeraora. So if he were to Lost Zone that, he'll only have 1 energy left in deck that will allow the Zeraora to attack. Looks like we are going to go for the Lost Zone of the Bird Keeper. The birds will not be kept to this game. Azul is going to use his 4th and final Scoop Up Net. He will pick up that Comfey and probably promote another one. Azul actually does not have a lot of items in his hand. The judge is moving the Lost Zone to the incorrect orientation. It is supposed to be sideways above your prize cards. Azul is using the concealed cards, discarding 1 water energy to draw 2 more cards. We do get a Mirage Gate. We are not quite there yet. We are 1 card in the Lost Zone short of being able to utilize that. If we were able to Mirage Gate, it would not be a bad idea to attack with Radiant Greninja. That would knock out the Mew, and you could put 90 on that Vikavolt at the same time. Azul's taking a lot of time with his turn here. He's about to venture into slow play territory if he doesn't start making actions a little faster. They also, very important to know, only have 10 minutes left. So Azul is likely hoping, again, that this game does not finish. It is very hard in Pokemon to complete a best of 3. Especially when games take so long. So long in all of the formats that I've played in, realistically. We are going to Ordinary Rod the Dragonite back in. Azul believes that this may be the game for the Dragonite to take a knockout. So we do see the potential attach of the lightning energy here. I believe, did he capture energy this turn? I don't think so. We are going to bench another Comfey. We are going to retreat into that. Flower selecting once again. And now we have the Mirage Gate. Since we have the full 7 in the Lost Zone, we are able to go full force. We may power up the Zeraora. We may start powering up the Radiant Greninja. Looks like we are choosing the Zeraora. So we do get one on the Greninja, so we can attack with it later if we so desire. But we do get the one lightning energy that we do need onto the Zeraora. Oh, we are also going for a second Mirage Gate. We have 2. Making sure all of those item cards are played. We are going to get second water energy down on the Greninja, and we are also going to get a psychic on the Comfey so that it can retreat as well. I believe Azul has already retreated, though. He did use that Comfey with the air balloon and retreated for free. So, looks like he is just passing, because he cannot move that Comfey. But at least he was able to get the Mirage Gate off. And that's all he was really hoping for this turn. Knowing that he's going to be item locked, he needs to make sure he can get the Mirage Gates off as soon as possible when he has it available to him. It would be really great to save that Greninja for when another Mew comes into play as well. But since that Radiant Greninja is all powered up and ready to go, once there is one more energy attached, I do not believe that Cameron will want to put another Mew in play. He won't want to give Azul the satisfaction of being able to take 2 prize cards with 1 attack by taking 2 knockouts on 2 little Mew guys, killing Cameron's consistency fully. We are going to quick ball away the Sky Seal Stone. Cameron's not going to see a lot of value with that, since Azul does not have a V Pokemon deck. He does have the Drapion already in the Lost Zone, and he also has the Dragonite in his deck. So Dragonite could come out at some point, but I don't believe there's going to be enough value just using that on the Dragonite. We are scooping up the Mew in order to promote the Vikavolt. And we are finally going to be able to attack. We do get a Zapdos down as well. We do not re-bench the Mew because we know that Radiant Greninja is potentially coming. But the other scary thing is if Radiant Greninja does attack, it can put 90 on both the Illuminion and the Crobat. And then if Greninja is able to attack one more time during the game, it could knock both of those out at the same time and take 4 prize cards. It also helps set them both up for Sableye damage as well. Of course, Sableye won't be able to take a 4 prize turn in that regard, but you could certainly set it up that way so that it could happen. Helps you get closer to that play. Looks like we do have another Colress's experiment from Azul, not getting punished for lost zoning that other one earlier. We do have a Sky Seal Stone of Azul's own in there. Looks like he is choosing to Lost Zone that, along with an Escape Rope. Definitely does not need item cards off that Colress, since you cannot play them. We are going to Flower Selecting as well. Looks like 2 more item cards. Azul's going to get rid of the Choice Belt, because if he is unable to... If he is at some point able to play items again, he'll get a lot more value out of the Ordinary Rod than he will out of the Choice Belt. Azul does have 11 cards in the Lost Zone total. So he will be able to start attacking with Sableye at some point in the near future. I believe Zapdos has 120 HP, so it would be enough to fully knock that out. You'd be 10 short of a Greninja. But it's a lot better just spreading damage, what almost feels like randomly on some of the Pokemon V, But if you do get that Greninja off, Sableye can start really, really going ham. So here is the Greninja. We are going to use his attack, Moonlight Shuriken. He is going to throw those stars at, looks like, Crobat and the Raikou. I believe he is not doing the Luminion because he knows that Aqua Return is a thing that could potentially happen in the future. If Cameron gets another Melanie, he could always just put an energy on that Luminion, and then he has one more Melanie and attach for turn away. Or just 2 attach for turns over 2 turns away. A little harder to attack with Luminion, or a lot harder to attack with Luminion in this deck than it is in Lugia Archeops, where you can just power it up in 1 turn very easily utilizing those Archeops. We are going to just hit for some damage again, not even knocking out Azul's active Greninja. Azul is just going to retreat it now into the Zeraora, which will be able to hit for 110, 30, plus another 80, due to the fact that the opponent's active Pokemon is a Pokemon V, which will be a 2-shot. Vikavolt will not be able to fully knock out the Zeraora. And it really shows how interesting this matchup is, because Azul is super hindered by the item lock, but Cameron is super hindered by the fact that Azul can just play with these 1 prize Pokemon that don't get 1-shot by the Vikavolt. Especially with the way Cameron was able to set up this game, or his lack of a good start, I would say. Since he had to put that Crobat and the Luminion into play, and the Raikou, he wasn't able to get any bench space for a Galarian Zigzagoon, and his Zapdos did not come down as early as you would like as well. So we do finally see the Cross Switcher. Double Cross Switcher is going to bring up the is going to bring up a Pokemon that is easily 1-shot, Cramorant, by that Vikavolt. And they do call, it looks like they call time. It says there's still 1 minute and 18 left on the clock for me, from what I can tell, but they must have called time. Their timer is not always correct on the stream. It is off sometimes. Not quite sure how, because you would think that they would start the timer as soon as the players start playing. But looks like Azul does end up winning the match. Because, of course, once you call time and you know Game 2 isn't going to finish, the only player with a win so far is going to win the whole match. So, props to Azul to be able to pick apart that Vikavolt deck. Item lock decks are very interesting, but I do not feel like Vikavolt is strong enough in this format. It is nowhere near as strong as Seismitoad EX was in its prime, or even Vileplume was in the Forest of Giant Plants era. Hope you guys enjoyed. Do not forget to feed the hungry algorithm all those comments, likes, and subscribes. Subscribing is free on YouTube. There is also my twitch.tv. Following is free on there. Subscribing, you do have to pay like $5 a month. But there are also all of the other social links down in the description box below. And we will see you guys next time for round 14, I believe we'll be on now. I'll see you guys then.